our newest kit. We're gonna have so much fun with it. I'm Khalid, come on in, let's get started. This particular Santa boot comes just like this. And the first thing I'm gonna do to kind of prep it is I put a piece of floral foam in there. So that way I can put a really nice sizable arrangement in this container. It'll be really super stable. So this floral foam, it's just wedged in there. If you want to put it more permanently, then you can use some hot glue to attach it, and a little Gorilla Glue always helps hold it in place really good. So the first thing I'm going to do, just like I was in, if I were teaching in design school, we're going to do what we call greening out our base, and we're going to do that first. So this is one of my favorite Christmas stems here. It's a pine that has this gorgeous snow on it and berry, and we're going to use that to start greening out this base to get the boots started. So let me grab one of those and we will start breaking it up. Now you've kind of got to decide the height you want on your design, and once you kind of get an idea, okay, I want it that high, go ahead and cut. Now there's rules of design. I teach in design school, but I also am always just telling my students, hey, just go ahead and do what you enjoy too. So play with what you're looking for, you know, your finished look to look like, and get started with that. So I'm going to start by just pushing this first piece in the back of the design, and I have a lot of height. I am going to take this little pine cone off, but I'm going to hold on to it because we might bring some of these back. So when you cut that off, see if you can save the little wire so we've got it if we want to bring some of those back in the design. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to break down a couple of stems here where I can get the greenery into different sections. So we're going to cut it into, basically, I'm going to do them into two sections. I'm going to leave two pieces together and one separate, or if you really want to have more control, you could cut them all individually. But we're going to start off like this. And I'm going to use one of these on the right and one on the left of this design. So I'm going to put this one in on the right. This is two pieces together, just kind of going in and just kind of letting that come over. And in design school, we call this breaking the plane. We want it to come out over the edge of the container. Now, if you think that's coming out a little bit farther than you want, you can take, and we can trim that. Like that's a little bit more than I want. I can trim this down a little, okay, and keep it a little more compacted. So you can always control the length of your stems when you're cutting and arranging them. So I'm going to have that one come out. Oh, that's pretty. And this one kind of come into here. Look how pretty that is. So you can see how simple so far our pattern is on this, but it's easy. That was just a glue string. So I'm going to get one more, grab another, and I'm going to break it into sections as well here. This time we'll just do them all three separate so we've got a good spacing. And in design school, we just call this, we're going to, you know, break up our pick. And I want just kind of mirror placement. What we're doing on the right, we're going to do on the left here. And I'm keeping my my little stems that have the pine cone off to the side. We're going to save those for the kind of a little treat at the end, okay? So I'm going to put my longer piece out here on the left. All right, just kind of coming out. Push that in right there. Good deal. And then I want my shorter piece just going right here up the middle where we have the other. It's easy. So just like that, we've already quickly greened out our base, which I love because we have a nice foundation. It's going to serve as a great backdrop to the rest of the design. So that's how you start off by prepping your base. Now our next step is going to be to grab our berries. And we're going to use our berries as our main pop of color in here. These are done in a really pretty red that goes great with these boots. So the first thing I want to do is kind of have the stem going up the middle. I want it to be shorter than the greenery I've got on there, so we're going to go a little bit shorter. Keeping it pretty short, and let's see if that'll work. And we will put that in here. Save all those wires, guys. Anytime you get like cut off a nice wire stem like this, hold on to it. That can be useful. It will be definitely useful to use for a number of different things. So I've got my glue pot over here to the side where I'm getting a little glue on. I'm just going to tuck this in. And we're practicing a little layering when we bring this in. I've already shook hands with each stem as I put it into our design, so you can see all the movement and motion. Look, isn't that great? That looks so good. Make the camera just a little bit bigger so you can see the top. This is a candy arrangement we did over to the left there in design school. But this is kind of, we're using some of the same principles here to get the basics started on this. Now, I'm going to take this spray and we're going to break it into smaller pieces, okay? So I like to do it into 2 sections, and we'll just cut it right here in the middle. And then I'll come in and trim the long stem off. So you'll have one that's a little bit more longer and skinnier, and one's a little chunkier. And we can take this one and divide it into a couple of sections. So I'm going to trim it there and here. Okay. And then we're going to start to build out how we want our berries. So this piece, it's long and it tapers. You want to use that for your length, how I'm going to come out over the sides on my design. And I want to take and do what we call shake hands. I'm going to manipulate the wires. The supplies we sell on Cleese.com are they're just high quality, good products that have a lot of movement. So I really believe in them if I'm selling them, that I think they're good quality and they'll be easy to design with. When something's easy to design with, your work is going to look more beautiful, more polished, more finished, more expensive. So if you ever want to get to where you sell your work, I want you to think about the supplies you're purchasing so that you can get the most, the most best quality for your customers at the most reasonable price to maximize your profits too. So I'm going to break up this one the exact same way. We're going to have one long one, and then we'll take and have 2 short ones. So while supplies last, we have this available in a kit, and you'll get everything you need to make it as seen here. The only thing you won't get is the foam. You just have to add your own floral foam to put in the base. So now we're going to go on the right side. So think about the same motion we gave that one to the left. We want to give this one go into the right. So whenever you use a mirror placement, it's just like the transition of the whole design occurs down the middle. That's the kind of stuff I love to teach in design school. So come join us over there in class. We would love to have you, and especially here at the holidays, because we just get started on having so much fun, and then we just transition right into the spring, and that's flower time, and that's my go time. I love it when we're getting to play with all the fun florals. So let's go ahead, hold these berries off for just a second, and go back to those 2 longer pieces of pine we had. We had these 2 that we left the pine cones on. We're going to use these kind of coming in these sections off the back. And let this pine go forward, and these are going to go right in there. We're going to leave those pine cones on. Remember, these are the ones we're in the front. I love these Santa boots. They're so cute and so fun to decorate in. Okay, and then I'm going to cut this one to the same length. We're going to do it on the other side. So this design we're doing today is pretty matchy-matchy, and if you're in design school, they will tell you, Khalees always like, don't matchy-matchy it, but sometimes we gotta matchy-matchy. And that just means it's the same on the right as it is on the left. See how pretty that filled in? Now we've got those little bit of pine cones in there. Isn't that looking gorgeous? Let me turn it towards you. This is so pretty. All right, it's time for berries. So we have some clusters that are a little bit larger. The larger clusters, we're gonna run them right in front of the cluster you just put in with the pine. Just put it right down here. Oop, it got tangled up. I want to hear it crunch in that foam so I know it's in there secure. And then that's going to come right in there. And we're going to do the same thing on the left. So use the large clusters for those, okay? Because we need that little bit of height. Come on in here, baby. How cute are these? You put these on your mantle. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay. I love that it's got this vintage vibe, but then it's just full with these killer berries. The snowy greenery, it's the bomb. Now, here's where you need to decide where you're going to be putting it in your home. If you are going to have it somewhere you want to see both sides, I would take some berries and put them on the back. If it's going to be something you want to use on your mantle or on your fireplace, like down at the bottom or on a table, and you know, hey, this is going in the hall table, it's one-sided, then I would go ahead and put more berries here at the front. So you decide. I held 2 berries off for the final placement. I'm going to put these right in the front. Right here. Boom. I love that. And that's going to be a little bit below the greenery. So once again, it's breaking the plate of the container. It's just so exciting to see all these gorgeous florals together. And when you got a good berry like this, it really, really makes it look stunning when you put it all together. All right, Blue Merinos, I can't wait for you to make your own, and then we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.